Boom! What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great day. If not, I hope some way, somehow, this video is gonna make your day even greater. Before we get started this video, we're gonna be reacting to why Floyd struggled against the drunken master. So I'm guessing this was in his amateur days, because I know he lost one time in the amateurs. If I'm not, I think he got silver in the amateurs or Olympics. Not amateurs. I meant to say the Olympics. So we're gonna be reacting to that. I'm guessing this is the only time he lost, and it was in the finals. But we'll get started. Make sure to subscribe, comment what you want to see next, and I'll do it for sure. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into this. Let me just bang, 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 bang all this out, bang all that out, bang, and here we go.
Every once in a while, two fighters meet with such uniquely different styles and personalities that something amazing happens. The fight seems to take on a life of its own and becomes legendary. Almost no one thought that this would be the case when the young rising star, Pretty Boy Mayweather, was set to take on Emmanuel Augustus, a boxer who had faced impressive competition but had a less than stellar record. But they should not have been the least bit surprised, because Emmanuel Augustus was no true journeyman. He was the drunken master.
Jesus, he fights
continuously robbed on the scorecard.
I'm not tripping, but he fights
Augustus
right?
put on outlandish displays of skill anyways. Never bitter, he refused to change his style, regardless of how the judges felt about it. Great fighters can get away with incredible displays of footwork.
No, we gotta look back.
Great fighters can get away with incredible displays of footwork and timing, but Augustus could.
Yo, look at the way he just slide his feet right here. Just go back a little bit.
Great fighters can get away with incredible displays of footwork and timing, but Augustus could do this while dancing.
Yo, bro, really hit. Bro, mid fight, dude really hit the. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Minimize myself back to the video.
Moving to a symphony of destruction that only he could hear. It's almost sad he wasn't a modern-day MMA fighter, so we could have seen him breakdance his way into scoring an ankle submission. My video on Augustus's techniques has over 10 million views, and he deserves all the credit for that, having one of the most interesting and skillful styles of all time. The short version is that he was comfortable fighting in any position or range, and stellar at smoothly transitioning between them. This gave him near infinite possibilities on which direction he could move, how he could implement head movement, and which angles he could set up shots from. In style and temperament, he was the exact opposite of Floyd. Although Pretty Boy Mayweather was a much more aggressive fighter than Money Mayweather would become, with 17 of his 23 fights ending by knockout, Mayweather's style was always built on calculation and precision. He paired a Philly shell guard with a high guard, and was excellent at countering for either.
Have you ever thought about making living in the firearms industry?
While we're here,
well, if you enjoy gun repair,
comment down if you really like Floyd Mayweather. I know for me, he was like one of them boxers that you just wanted to see lose. But at the end of the day, if you like the sport of boxing or love the sport of boxing, you just respect him for his accomplishments, and he's just the man went undefeated. Like you can't say you can't put dirt on the guy's name, but I like his boxing style. It's not my favorite type, but it got the job done for a reason. So you gotta respect that.
He preferred to limit both his opponents
and
his own offensive options.
Comment down who's your favorite boxer of all time?
On his superior smarts, reflexes.
Who's your favorite boxer at the moment right now?
He could then get much more aggressive once his competitor had been worn down. While most expected Floyd to have an easy time breaking Augustus down, in reality,
also, you gotta remember, once Floyd broke his, I forgot which side it was, his left or right, that's when he started like leaning back on the defensive side more, right? Because before that, Like on this knockout right here,
to outscore them.
that's
He
when
could
he's
then get
firing
much more aggressive
but
once
on this
his
knockout right
competitor
here,
had been worn
this
down.
is before he broke his hand.
While most
right, so that was Pretty Boy Floyd. I mean, then he had more like it was just more outside his offensive game. It was more than just a jab. But after he broke his left or right wrist or hand, then he started to become more on the defense side, and it still ended up working for him. To me, that's what makes him one of the all-time greats, because he's able to adjust and still go to 50-0. Like, that's crazy.
Expected Floyd to have an easy time breaking Augustus down. In reality, the drunken master would take Mayweather into a trial by fire. It remained to be seen if he could take the heat. The fight got interesting right away. Although Augustus was the one pressing forward, Mayweather was the more aggressive of the two by far. He unloaded crisp, sharp lead hands and even the occasional long combination. But for all of that, his punches rarely hit home. And this was all due to the defensive wizardry of the drunken master. Augustus feinted and lunged, playing with rhythm to create constant threats and disrupt Mayweather's offensive timing. And although his own Philly shell guard was not as polished as Floyd's, when combined with his head movement and footwork, it was more than enough to get the job done. When was the last time you saw Mayweather miss so many shots? Extravagant as always, Augustus even jumped to switch shift into southpaw just to block one shot before switching right back.
Ooh, good D.
Meanwhile, the drunk to block one shot before switching right back.
Boom.
Meanwhile, the drunken master's broken rhythm and strange timing was making it hard for Pretty Boy to time his own defense. In a few instances, Mayweather got caught with seemingly blatant shots.
That's a good jab. That's a good jab. Oh, and a try. Oh, he blew a kiss at him!
By round 2, the drunken master was tacking punches onto his stellar head movement.
There's gotta be mutual respect after this,
and not just a few.
This is just straight boxing right here. This is just straight boxing.
Mayweather's style requires a lot of subtle adjustments, predicated on incredible reflexes to stay safe. But Augustus was overloading his capacity to keep up with countless punches from all angles. A ridiculous anime-like tactic that was actually working.
This beat in the background, nice!
However, Mayweather is a master at neutralizing his opponent's offense. He framed against Augustus's head to read him better and freeze him in place, stopping his off-rhythm threats, and following up with well-placed shots the moment Augustus grew too relaxed. In truth, Mayweather was such a sharp boxer that he'd actually tested out this tactic at the tail end of round 1. But when Augustus got hurt, he pressed forward even harder. Floyd is the kind of boxer who loves to take away his opponent's options and simplify the fight to where he can dominate where he's strongest. But the drunken master was the exact opposite. He preferred to force complex exchanges, regardless of if he took damage or not. Smiling all the while because he so enjoyed the thrill of the fight. Mayweather smiled back.
You gotta respect it, bro. It's mutual respect, man.
Finally found someone who would test him. But as it turned out, this was all just preamble. The next several rounds would turn out to be
that's only round 2, right?
Display of back and forth insanity rounds test him. But as it turned out, this was all just preamble. The next several rounds would turn out to be a high-level display of back and forth insanity. Both men took big risks and put everything on the line, showing off their best tricks of the trade.
It's a clean shot. Ooh, that's a clean shot. That's 2 clean shots. Oh, that's a clean shot.
Of his own, pivoting with his cross to take an outside angle, then framing to off-balance Augustus and stay safe before throwing another shot from offline.
That's clean. That's clean.
Bring these guys in here now. Dirty. Drag a hose and pressure washer straight in, knock them up.
Clean. That's clean. That's clean.
As always, Mayweather showed an incredible ability to catch opponents mid-movement, landing from tight angles that caught Augustus unaware. These punches didn't need a huge load-up to do damage. They hurt because of their timing.
Yeah.
And while Augustus had the ability to catch him mid-exchange, even after taking a shot,
that's a clean
Mayweather
shot.
had the endurance and concentration to last longer.
That's clean! That's clean!
With a punctuation mark. What really helped Mayweather longer and end the king a shot, Mayweather had the endurance and concentration to last longer and end the exchange with a punctuation mark. What really helped Mayweather here was just how strict he was in maintaining his balance and positioning at all times. But for all of that, the Drunken Master was putting on a jaw-dropping performance. Mayweather liked to fight on the center line, but Augustus kept finding ways to cross that line. He later shifted past Mayweather, turning to catch him from southpaw as he tried to exit the exchange. Speaking of, his ability to adjust his feet to any position from any stance also allowed his torso complete range of motion.
That's a good body shot.
It was much easier for him than most to angle in punches through the small cracks in Floyd's armor.
This is round 5.
As the fight neared the midway point, to the surprise and downright shock of many, both Augustus and Floyd had been hurt. In the 5th, the Drunken Master trapped Mayweather on the ropes and managed to deal more damage and put more pressure on him than anyone had up until that time ever. But Mayweather proved himself to be an incredibly brave fighter with a lot of heart.
Bro, I don't think I've ever seen Mayweather bleed.
Endured the barrage and fought his way off the ropes. Getting aggressive
good bounce
once
back,
the
May.
Drunken Master had finally
Good bounce back,
run out of
May.
steam.
Good bounce back, May.
Most were stunned to see that the momentum of the fight had shifted to Augustus, even if only briefly. And a big part of his ability to do this was that Emmanuel had found ways to pick holes in Floyd's Philly shell.
You gotta respect this dude, man. What do they call him? Drunken Master? Real name's like Augustus something, dude. Like, he fights awkward, but he's able to hang in with one of the best before he even became one of the best. So this is good, bro.
I've recently come across a fight breakdown from a hype channel,
and he was highly he was a high underdog in this fight. Yo, I can't.
Picked apart the Philly shell, and I'll be addressing that in depth at the end of this video. But for now, let's take a look at a few smart tactics that worked for the Drunken Master. Augustus tended to set up his power punches with jabs, targeting the small opening that the Philly shell position inherently leaves around the chest to the chin, depending on guard position. Targeting one made it much harder for Floyd to defend the other. He would then throw his power punches after the jab had prompted Mayweather to create more openings by either tightening his guard or turning. The Drunken Master also took advantage of the forearm frame commonly paired with the shell against Mayweather, instantly targeting his exposed ribs anytime Mayweather tried to create some distance. But a huge inherent problem with facing the Philly shell is the powerful counters that derive from head movement. But Augustus had a smart way to deal with these head movement threats as well, targeting Mayweather's side whenever he crouched.
Oh, okay.
And anticipating the roll and pull counter so that he could in turn counter the counter.
Good counter.
By throwing the entire kitchen sink at Mayweather, Augustus was pushing the fight further than anyone had anticipated. However, for every barrage of well-crafted combinations that Augustus used to frustrate Mayweather, Floyd would come back with a few sharp, tight, stinging shots that seemed to bother Augustus much worse. And this afforded Mayweather the ability to pile on even more punches. But astonishingly, Augustus recovered every time and came back even stronger. Perhaps hoping to break the stalemate, in round 6, both men planted themselves mid-ring, stood in place, and refused to give an inch.
Someone's going down. Someone has to go down, right?
In the end, it was Mayweather who broke the standoff, walking himself back to a defensive position on the ropes. After the bell sounded the end of the round, Floyd, a man who would later shrug off an intentional groin shot like someone on the street was trying to hand him a coupon, seemed uncharacteristically fired up. Then, bizarrely, in round 7, Mayweather switched to southpaw. Whether this was because he had injured his hand, as he would later reveal was the case, just looking to give Augustus another look,
was this the fight that
or
he injured
simply
his
showing
hand?
off because he felt Augustus was done, we may never know. What we can know is that Mayweather had his best moment of the fight from a stance he rarely, if ever, fought from, pummeling Augustus with a barrage of well-placed punches. In round 8, Augustus returned the favor, switching to southpaw himself and targeting Pretty Boy's body like it owed him money. By the standards of the rest of the fight,
Yo, this
round 8
background
was
music
fairly
hard,
slow.
though. Good shots.
But as it turned out, it was only the calm before the storm. Both men had been through absolute hell. But in the end, it was Mayweather's cold calculation that made the difference. He kept backing up, inch by inch, staying just out of distance, all the while baiting a wary Augustus into a hard body shot that seemed to take all of the steam out of him. Augustus bravely marched forward, but his movement was severely stunted. Compared to his normal antics, the drunken master seemed frozen in place. And even when he thought a bit, Mayweather was still landing at will. Augustus put on his best poker face,
He's a body
but
bag
Mayweather was not fooled.
He's a body bag with just
piled
wheels.
on until Augustus's corner mercifully threw in the towel. Afterwards, Mayweather spoke of the skills of the drunken master, saying that he had heard that Augustus had been repeatedly robbed. And
hello, what's going on with you, ma? She looking for me. She looking for me. Hold on. I'm right here. I'm in the future. You in the past, but I can bring you along with me.
definitely believed that to be the case. He stated that his record did not reflect his skills. Ever the perfectionist, Floyd at times seemed almost apologetic, even though his performance and his heart had been impressive. In the end, Floyd gave the Drunken Master a painful defeat, but also added to his legend. Each fight that Mayweather won from then on, validating how incredible it was that Augustus had achieved what he had.
Did you know that you can make full-time income from YouTube without ever trying to grow your own channel? It's true.
Now, time to do something difficult. I've run across a popular video from a hype and storytelling channel that has suddenly changed to my format, claiming that they know how Julio Cesar Chavez cracked Roger Mayweather's Philly shell. To set the fight up, they used the same technique points in the same order as I used in my video, like how the narrow stance affects head movement versus a squared up stance, with slightly different wording. Sure, Chavez's forward posture and stance left him wide open, but it also allowed him the full range of lateral head movement to either side. If Chavez had used a more sideways narrow stance, he would have been limited to only having the full range of head movement on one side.
The more bladed the stance you fight from, the smaller a target you present, but the less able to slip away from the side you are facing.
A square posture provides lateral head movement in either direction. In contrast, a more narrow posture provides for greater protection and allows greater lateral movement, but only in one direction. This wouldn't be too bad, except that when it comes to Chavez, rather than try to analyze the dynamics of the fight and teach how he defeated Mayweather and his shell, they instead used the same points in order for my style breakdown on Chavez, only applying it to the fight with Mayweather. Chavez's forward stance helped him move laterally to cut off the ring.
Chavez is one of the best ring cutters in history.
Rather than directly chase his
I think he's trying to compare his video with the other
traced
video.
a diagonal path towards the corner.
He understood the geometry of the ring,
widening his stance as he approached the ropes. This ensured that he could move to either side with ease, changing directions at a moment's notice to thwart his competitor's escape.
how to step in at angles to take away space.
Chavez had a surprisingly active guard, but it was easy to miss as it was very subtle. He used slight catches, parries, and bumps to deflect punches.
To catch and
So
parry
this is
and
all
roll
called the
shots
shovel?
while he closed the gap. While he fought as a swarmer, his defense from the classic high guard was gorgeous.
This in part helped to set up Chavez's most effective pressure fighting tactic, shifting forward into southpaw to block off his opponent's pivot and double up on his attack.
Clean shot. That's a clean shot.
This last element made Chavez's style totally symmetrical, granting him the ability to double up with whichever hand was closest.
Once in range, Chavez would throw with whichever hand Roger happened to be circling into.
He got him flying off the rope.
This is how Chavez could apply pressure with his head like a wrestler, much as the great Henry Armstrong used to do.
Which is his grappling game. Julio is unquestionably one of the best grapplers in boxing.
And this still wouldn't be so bad, except that when they attempt their own analysis, it's either incredibly vague or just makes no sense.
But his punch
Throwing
selection
shots.
was Mayweather's
Throwing
biggest problem.
shots.
He spanned his left hook up close, which meant Mayweather's venomous right hand was stuck at home.
All of
On
a sudden,
defense.
this fight, all of a sudden, the fight is about his
close
channel
or
versus the other
otherwise
channel.
will not stop a Philly shot practitioner from punching with either hand, and it's a terrible idea against a style built around
looks like
from
that
punching with either hand, and it's a terrible idea against a style built around predicting and countering power punches. It didn't work particularly well against Roger Mayweather.
Wait. Mosley and Mayweather fought when Iron Man 2 came out? Yo, so that was 2010. Dang.
It didn't work particularly well against Roger Mayweather, getting Chavez caught with the same powerful right that had felled many of Roger's prior competitors. Not to mention, it gave
Knock him
Mayweather
out, then.
several
Knock
opportunities
him down,
to
Caesar.
escape the ropes when he would have otherwise been stuck. And then start firing back from a far superior position. This is because, far from having their rear hand occupied by the lead hook, the Philly shell practitioner can either turn and block to counter from a tighter inside angle, or use head movement to duck, or pull and counter. So I felt the need to give a warning here, please don't try this. I personally felt that the lead straight and overhand were the punches that made the difference for Chavez.
Oh man,
The lead straight
he literally
and
flew in
overhand
midair.
were the
Watch
punches
this. He's about to lean
that
forward.
made
Literally jumps towards him and just...
difference for Chavez. The overhand worked well for both fights, because
Ah!
Mayweather often failed to elevate his shoulder or duck his chin enough when circling out with the jab, frame, or roll.
Sit down.
I could grin and bear it when they screenshot the exact same picture I spent hours looking for my thumbnail. Or if they copy my titles, or even use the exact same image text from my last video for their next video. However, using my work to build credibility so that they can provide bad, inaccurate information, that I need to speak up about. Hopefully that's the last I'll have to say about it.
Hey,
From the
I
Modern
respect
Martial
it.
Artist, this has been David Chris.
I respect it. You know?
Happy training.
Now I understand. Now I understand what the beef is about.
What if you can earn
This video was sponsored by
Every once in a while.
Now I respect it. Now I respect it, you know? Now I understand what was going on, the beef and everything. So the modern martial artist, I respect it. Wow, a lot of people saying don't let Augustus' record fool you. He was an excellent, formidable boxer, one of the most underrated boxers in history. I didn't know about him until now, so I mean, comment down whatever you guys believe. Emmanuel Augustus would have been huge today, in my opinion. One thing I love about watching this style, you can see the mastery. I honestly, I can probably see that because just the way he's a bit stylish, not stylish, but he's a bit he looks like he's a good performer. You know, just giving the fans a good performance and giving a good competitive fight, and then on top of that being like, you know, being entertaining. So I feel like I can see that. I can see that. But that's just gonna cap off the video. It was a longer video than expected, but make sure to make that Great thumbs up. Light up some colors with the confetti at you. Click on that red rectangle box thingy to make it gray. Comment down what video you guys want me to react to next. Also, share this video to whoever, how many other people you would like. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great rest of your night, great rest of your morning, great rest of your day.